Welcome back to Swiss 400. Today we'll look at the 6 rules of collecting model airplanes. This video is aimed at everyone who is thinking about starting a model airplane collection and also at veteran collectors who have been collecting for a while. It can get pretty confusing and overwhelming with all the different scales, brands and stores we have. I hope these 6 rules will help you grow your collection as good as possible. So let's get started and look at rule number 1. There are many different scales of model airplanes. The most popular ones are 1 to 500, 1 to 400 and 1 to 200. There are a lot of more unique scales, but for the simplicity of this video, we'll be focusing on the most popular ones for airliners. To make your collection look as good as you can, I recommend you to mainly stick to one scale. As the scale gets bigger, you get more and more detail, but the price also increases. So it's important that you think this decision through and pick a scale that you like the looks of, have enough space to display, and have the budget to support it. If you want to know more about the different scales, I have a separate video where I go more into detail about them. Check out the pop-up if you're interested. Let's move on to rule number 2. You should decide early on where you want to take your collection. Why are you collecting? Do you want to build a model airport to display your aircraft? Do you want to collect aircraft you have flown or have spotted? Or maybe you just want to collect models you like the look of. Either way, it is important that you set yourself a target of the models you want in your collection. If you don't, it's easy to end up with a mess of different models that you have no attachment to and that you might even regret buying. Trust me, it happened to me too. So make sure you know which models, which airlines or aircraft types you want to collect as soon as possible. You'll enjoy your collection much more that way. I can't stress this enough. Do not just buy a model without doing the proper research. Maybe you want to buy a United Airlines A321neo in 1 to 400 scale. There is a Gemini Jets version and an NG Models version of that aircraft. On a first glance, they might look quite similar. But if you take a closer look, you'll find that the Gemini Jets is far from being good. The engines are too big, and the gear also isn't as detailed as on the NG Models one. Like with this example, you should always research which brand has the best offering to ensure you'll get the best model possible. Believe me, the differences between brands can be quite dramatic. The best way to find out which model to get is through YouTube videos or reading reviews online. On my channel, I have a ton of reviews you can check out, and I can also highly recommend you the website Yesterday's Airlines, which I'll link you down below in the video description. Let's move on to the next rule. Collecting model airplanes can get very expensive very quickly. So I recommend you to have a fixed amount of money per month you want to spend on your hobby. Also, don't feel forced to buy a model that you can't afford just because someone you know has gotten it. Be patient, and if you can't get that specific model, there will always be a next one. That's part of the fun. Sometimes you have to wait a long time to have a model re-released you missed out on, or are just waiting to be made. In the end, it'll be worth the wait. Moving on to rule number 5. There are tons of old models on eBay that are being sold for cheap. They are mostly outdated or never really sold in the first place. Of course, you could buy a lot of these cheap models and grow your collection quickly, but will you be pleased with your collection that way? I recommend you to maybe buy less models, but instead spend a bit more on each individual model. That way you will be able to buy models you actually want, and if you do your research, like I told you to, also models that are of higher quality and more detailed. I'm not saying that there aren't any cheap models that are of good quality, but mostly you get what you pay for. In the end, you will appreciate your collection much more if you buy the best models that are available. And for our final rule, display your models. This might sound obvious, but even I just recently bought a display case to put my models in. Think about where you want to put all your newly bought models. If you have them on display, you'll enjoy the models much more than if they are hidden in your basement. So buy a nice glass showcase and show off your incredible collection. That is until you find a partner, move in with them, and they think you should sell your models. Ah, love is a beautiful thing. Disclaimer, this is not a shot at my amazing girlfriend. She supports my collection and even allows me to have the models on display. I love her. So, those are the 6 rules you should follow when collecting model airplanes. Not every rule needs to be followed strictly, but remember, you need to know the rules before you start to break them. Do you think I forgot a rule? If so, let me know in the comments and I might make a part 2. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe to my channel to stay updated. Until next time, goodbye.